Hello everyone and welcome back to another video here on Sam's Crafty Castle, and today we're going to have a little fun with a shaped card. These are I think they're kind of the entryway into other fun fold cards. Like, this is about the easiest fun fold card you can make. But it still makes things a little bit interesting, and I will admit this card does not turn out the way that it was supposed to in my brain. I had this whole plan to kind of play. As you can see, our little penguin here is holding on to a camera, and I had this whole plan to play off of the camera and do not necessarily like a camera background for him, but to I was gonna do. I have a stencil. I have a stencil that has. It's sort of a sunburst stencil, but not really, and it sort of, it's circular and goes out. I don't know what the right word for that is, so I hope that made sense. But I have this stencil, and I have not used it in a very long time, and I was like, oh, this would be so fun to do this with this penguin, and it would be a cool look to put the penguin in the middle, and then have this stencil, and then do a circle card, and that's not what I ended up doing at all. The card is still cute. It's just not the original vision I had. And it was one of those things where I had the idea, and I just kind of went into card making mode and just didn't really know what process, I suppose is the right word, what I was doing for the entire time I was making this card, until I got to the end and was like, that's not what this was supposed to look like. Oops. I don't know. Does that happen to anyone else? Let me know in the comments down below if that happens to you. If you start out with one plan and then just kind of autopilot into something else. It's still a really cute card though, but I still think my original idea would have been better. And this is a digital stamp, so maybe I'll have to go back one of these days and sometime in the future and do that. Or yeah, do it the way I wanted to. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if that ever happens. I was also supposed to do, I've entirely missed it now, honestly. Because it's the beginning of May when I'm recording this. And actually, no, that's a lie. It's mid-end of April when I'm recording this. And I was supposed to do something because I'm pretty sure this is the 10-year anniversary of Sam's Crafty Castle, and I was supposed to do something this spring for that, and I did not do it. So, oops. Well, it's not the 10th anniversary of Sam's Crafty Castle, it's the 10th anniversary of the YouTube channel. Sam's Crafty Castle has existed for 12 years? 12 years, I think. No, that's not right. No, I think I started the first blog in 2011, which it wasn't Sam's Crafty Castle back then. It was My Crafty Place. And I'm pretty sure that I started in 2011 or 2012. So, I've been on social media longer than 10 years, but sometime, I think it was probably in March. No, it may be a couple weeks from when I'm filming this, maybe. Because my first video was a Scrapbook Expo vlog, and that would have been sometime in April. So it's sometime in April that the channel started. And I was gonna do a throwback video, and I'm filming this and I'm recording this and remembering that I was supposed to do that and I didn't. So who knows? Maybe I'll follow up on this one day or not. Okay, that's enough rambling. Back to what we're actually supposed to be talking about. So I am simply coloring up. I wanted to talk about coloring in the penguin, but I have rambled about my failed 10-year anniversary plans instead. But I wanted to mention that when I color this penguin, I don't just color him in black marker. Now, I'm not going to lie to you all. Sometimes I do just color them in black marker because sometimes I feel lazy and I do not want to do it the right way or the proper way because I'm just feeling lazy. But the real way you want to color black, and this was kind of where I was trying to go with this video. I was going to do a whole how you color black and white kind of thing, but I rambled instead. So to color black, you usually want to go for your dark grays. So this has a lot of dark, so to make the black of the penguin, I just did dark gray. Um, I used 3 different darker grays to do it, and I think if you really look at it, you can kind of tell that it's a little more gray than black, but it looks better than just like coloring it in straight black. I think it just adds a little bit to it. And then as far as the white goes, now I talked about a couple weeks ago when I did that colored pencil flower. I said how you can use colored pencils to color white because the white pencil will kind of still show up on white paper. But I was using markers today, so to color the white of the belly, I used a lot of light gray colors. There's a weird spot on my screen that I thought was a spot on the penguin, and I was like, what did I do? But no, it's not a spot on the penguin. It's just on my computer screen. So I used a bunch of light grays, and then I used my colorist blender to kind of blend them out. And again, it doesn't. I actually think it makes them look more white in some cases. It just adds a little something that makes the actual like white parts of the penguin stand out. If you just do that along the shadows, and then use the kind of the same way I did with the pencils, where I sort of used the white to blend out my yellow, to turn it back to white. I used the Copic colorless blender to blend out the gray back to white, and then it just adds a little something to it. So now we're gonna get into making our shaped card, which is actually very easy in this case. We're just doing a circle card, so it's nice and easy. So I wasn't really sure what size I needed right off the bat, so I kind of overestimated on my cardstock here and did a 6x6 square card. So I cut actually no, I probably did 5x5. I probably did 5x5, because I knew that would be big enough, and so I cut my cardstock to 10 by 5x10. There we go. And then scored it at 5 inches, and then had just a square card. Then I took my circle die, and I lined it up so that the circle, you can't really see it because I didn't give us a ton of space, but I lined it up so that after I folded it, the edge of the circle die was sticking off. So it stayed folded, but it cut the rest of the card into a circle. I cut out a couple other circles and things off camera, because that's just die cutting. Here's me pulling out the last white one. That one I cut for the inside of the card. Actually, I think I was going to use it as a layer at one point, but then I realized my penguin buddy is a little bit big, and he takes up enough room on his own, so I didn't need to add the extra layer. Which I think this is about when I started to realize that, like, this wasn't what I was trying to do, and I have completely just, like, thrown the plan out the window somewhere along the line. I really don't know what's going on with me that day, but that's what happened. So I was trying to figure out a greeting for this, and I'm been trying to stock up my birthday cards. You guys know this. I've talked about it like 10,000 times. And I wanted to turn this into a birthday card, but I didn't know what greeting to use with the whole camera situation. And I kind of wanted to use smile because I felt like that was appropriate. And I'll pull out, so that's what I'm doing now. I'm cutting the smile in the same color that I did the card base out of, which is Gina K Designs Moonlit Fog. And, this was my first time when I first got my little grip mat. I don't know if that's what Waffle Flower calls them, but I'm going to call it that. And you'll see I did a goofy, and for some reason didn't think to pull off the other plastic cover, so it still slips everywhere, and I'm like, why is it not sticking? And then I'd realize later that it's because I've only pulled off one side of the plastic. Oops. But this was the first time I ever used it, which kind of dates this video a little bit, but I had just gotten it in a clearance sale from Waffle Flower, because I have the Waffle Flower one. Okay, and that's all I use it for, honestly. The only thing I use my grip mat for is my mini Intricate, and that's the entire reason I bought it. And it's like, Sammy, why did you buy the big one? And because if that's all you were going to use it for, because it's a little bit overkill. But I wanted to have the big one in case I did ever decide to use it for something else. So now I have it if I need it. Now we're just going to glue everything together. Everybody's favorite part, I think. I don't know. It's the part where everything starts to come together, usually. So I've glued this pattern paper circle that I cut down that should theoretically be a stenciled circle, but it's not because I apparently didn't know what I was doing when I filmed this video. And then I think, if I remember right, I'm pretty sure that I pop up. No, I don't pop up the penguin. I thought I did. Do I pop up the? What do? Maybe I don't. Maybe I do everything. I think I do everything flat on this one, actually. Because now I will say, doing a circle card like this does make mailing a little bit more difficult. You gotta figure out what envelope to send it in, and what, like, mine, it ends up being small enough once I've cut it from that die that I did check it. It does fit in a regular A2 sized envelope. So you can put like cardstock or something in there to help protect it, because it'll be weird. It'll be like the size of the envelope will be floppy, which might give you some issues when you try to mail it. Or of course you can always just like give it to the person if you're gonna see someone in real life and want to hand them their birthday card. That is always also an option. So, and then because this is a weird color cardstock, Moonlit Fog, I ended up deciding to put a little text block kind of thing in there. So I just had an extra circle that I cut, and you saw me cut it, and I put that in the middle because that was actually going to be the other layer for the outside, and then I realized that it was going to be much better staying in the middle. So, that's everything for today. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. I'll see you again soon, and have a crafty day.